WWE's Wildcard Rule has been very, very interesting in the last few weeks of television. And to be honest with you, I think it's safe to say that the brand split is done. We're going to talk about it in today's video.
You have arrived at your destination.
Welcome back to Destination Pro Wrestling here on YouTube. My name is Ango. You guys can follow me on Twitter at Tango with Ango. And we are talking about the brand split because there's been a lot of rumors about WWE possibly ending the brand split. We're going to talk about how this may affect WWE's Raw and Smackdown along with their television deals. Lots of stuff happening. So I think we should just kick it off with the premise of why the brand split will end. And that's pretty simple. It's very clear. WWE is trying to boost their ratings, and with the roster that they have, it seems to be an issue for them to boost their ratings. And I think a lot of this tends to be due to the fact that WWE's creative hasn't been that great all too well post WrestleMania 35. Now, with that being said, we all know that WWE is moving SmackDown to Friday nights on Fox. And it seems like there's been a lot of pressure from Fox to ensure WWE is getting views and ratings above 2 or 3 million viewers. And of course, USA Network is also putting the pressure on WWE to do the same exact. Now, with that being said, WWE's roster is very, very chaotic right now. There are a lot of people who are signed to WWE, and unfortunately, your favorites aren't being used. So WWE implemented what they call a wildcard rule, which from the start was a huge problem because the wildcard rule was essentially a rule where members of the SmackDown roster can show up on Raw and then vice versa. Now, with that being said, you need to know that the wildcard rule also included a rule of only 4 stars from each brand being able to be moved to the opposing brand. And of course, this rule has not necessarily been followed since the very beginning. Now, because WWE's brand is essentially all about entertainment and everything like that, it's really hard to draw the line in choosing which TV show is better than the other. If you're WWE, Monday Night Raw has basically been your main staple for so many years, so you tend to see WWE really push Raw. But of course, now SmackDown is getting that major television deal with Fox, and of course Fox wants SmackDown to be the main focus. So WWE has kind of put themselves in a position here where they're going to struggle no matter what, because no matter what, both networks aren't going to be happy if some of the top draws aren't included in that show. So that is why we're pretty much at the point where we can now acknowledge that WWE is leaning towards ending the brand split, which is quite concerning because I feel like WWE right now, a lot of people want to see WWE compete with AEW, but just for great entertaining television, many people think WWE truly embarking on a, competitive atmosphere within the brand would do just fine. And of course, a lot of people would love to see Raw versus SmackDown, very similar to the days of, Ric Flair and Eric Bischoff. But of course, with that being said, WWE has yet to officially pull the plug on the brand split, but now many new rumors and reports have come out and suggested that WWE will in fact end the brand split going into fall 2019. Now, I've spoken to a couple different people today, and a lot of people actually come with the agreement that WWE is ready to go full-fledged creative this upcoming fall, especially because WWE's SmackDown will be on Fox. But as you guys know, that's several months away, and a lot of people are starting to get scared that WWE is not producing high enough quality shows to keep people intrigued and interested. And honestly, I can understand where they're coming from. So because I can understand where they're coming from, it really comes down to one major thing, and that is ending the brand split. But that's in WWE's eyes. I don't necessarily think ending the brand split here is going to do anything special for WWE. A lot of people believe that Brock Lesnar will be the WWE champion going into SmackDown on Fox. And honestly, that right there is a move that suggests WWE is willing more than ever now to please the networks. Now, a lot of people get ratings kind of mixed up. A lot of people think that ratings mean absolutely everything to WWE, but it doesn't necessarily mean that because of the social engagement that WWE has. But we do have to keep in mind that in this stage of the game, WWE needs to do something very, very different. And I don't think a brand split fixes that problem. That is how much they are struggling with creative. And WWE kind of shoots themselves in the foot here because by having so many different shows within their programming competing with each other, obviously some of your favorite stars being on one brand opposing to the other brand, if that show is not doing well, you kind of miss out on the benefits of the other show. So Brock Lesnar winning the championship from Kofi, unfortunately for many of you, I know you're not going to agree with this, but it does make sense. Brock Lesnar does draw ratings. Brock Lesnar does bring a lot of attention to the move to Fox, but now WWE is also going to suffer from the issue that Brock Lesnar isn't on Monday Night Raw. And I think that's why WWE ending the brand split does make the most sense for their product, although I don't agree with it creatively. But WWE is not in the game of, producing high quality creative shows at this moment in time. I think with the pressure coming from Fox and USA, things will eventually change. But right now it's all about the numbers. And as you guys have seen before, WWE is absolutely killing it financially. So much so that reports are coming out that Vince McMahon might use a little bit of WWE money to fund the XL. That's a whole conversation for another video. But clearly, WWE is killing it financially, and that's why people are struggling to understand why they are struggling creatively. Now, with all of that being said, if WWE does in fact end the brand split, what is your concern? For me, one of the biggest concerns that I have in this situation is there's really no reason to watch one brand over the other, and I kind of fear that this could be an issue with WWE. It was an issue before. Obviously, when WWE Raw was becoming the Super Show, it was very clear it was basically 5 hours of one show. And SmackDown would include a lot of rematches from Raw. It was really bad. So I don't want to see WWE go back to that, but what we're seeing right now with the wild card pretty much makes me feel that that will in fact happen to WWE, and that really makes me nervous. Now let's talk about AEW for a second, because a lot of people have been talking about AEW and how it's becoming the #1 pro wrestling company in the world. I don't know if they're there just yet. I actually know for a fact they're not just there, but they're doing some pretty impressive stuff, and obviously they're going to compete with WWE. I think WWE has proved to the fans they've given you what you looked for. You guys wanted Seth to go over Brock Lesnar. You wanted Becky Lynch to go over Charlotte and Ronda. And you wanted Kofi to go over Daniel Bryan. WWE gave you what you wanted, and ratings went down. And I think the logical reason for that is simply one thing, and that is you're not watching anybody chase. And of course, this helped with ratings, but people want to see if Kofi would win, so ratings were good. People want to see Becky Lynch win. Ratings were good. People want to see Seth take the belt off of Brock Lesnar. The ratings were good. So that led to an ultimate bigger problem, which is the reason why ratings are kind of struggling right now. And that is they're not creating compelling TV for you to be interested in another chase, right? You got what you wanted, and now there's nothing behind that. So Seth Rollins was your cure, Becky Lynch was your cure, and Kofi Kingston was your cure. But nonetheless, now that you got what you wanted, you need something else to be interested. And unfortunately, WWE hasn't produced that level of content. Do I blame you as a fan for feeling that way? No, absolutely not. I blame WWE for not giving you more to want. But of course, as time goes on, I think we're going to see that come into play. And I think really that does start fall 2019. Now, with SmackDown getting more attention from Fox, I'm very curious to see what USA is going to do with WWE if WWE is not spoiling the Raw brand. And obviously, that is one of the big reasons that WWE may be ending the brand split. So Raw and SmackDown should be competitive. There should be authority figures. They should be doing trades. They should be having controversial segments. The authority role could work in 2019, but it's only going to work if you are doing it the right way. And I don't think at this point, with the wildcard rule, with the brands basically showing up and not competing with each other, I think as today's product stands, I think it's very clear that WWE is going to struggle in that regard. Now, with all that being said, I truly want to know what you guys think in regards to the brand split ending. Like I said, this could be happening this upcoming fall. Right now, we're in the transition period from WWE, which obviously has resulted in lackluster TV. So a lot of things happening right now, but let me know your opinion down below. And hey, don't forget to click that subscribe button, ring that bell, so that way you get notified on all the latest pro wrestling news here on Destination Pro Wrestling. I'll see you next time.